welcome to the Science Fiction Rating System podcast, episode 40. The podcast that aims to rate every science fiction film from 1 to infinity, TM. My name is Sam Draper, and I am joined by Chris Redding.
Hello.
And Alex Humphrey.
Hi there.
And this week, we are previewing 3 South Korean films, but we're doing things slightly differently because we also have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and we've been trying to keep it ready for the podcast.
Everyone's seen it by now, surely. I mean, everyone in the world has seen it by now.
Yeah, by the time this has come out, we were recording this a long time in the past, but we will do it differently this week. So we'll do the 3 films up front, and then we'll do our Star Wars discussion at the end. So if you don't want any spoilers, you can listen to all the stuff at the start and then just turn off and we talk about Star Wars, because it will be spoiler heavy.
Huge spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler all day, every day.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
We are spoilers. Yeah. But for now, yes. We've all got our beers. Any nice beers out there today?
I've got the Piston Head.
Nice.
Oh. I've got an all-day IPA session ale from Founders, because I'm going to have to argue with you all day about Star Wars. I didn't realise how appropriate it was when I took it out of the fridge. There you go. It's very nice, though.
I've got a Thornbridge...
Was your fridge really cold, like space is, and you die in space?
Sometimes I die, sometimes
the beer floated across the fridge at him.
Sometimes I use my Jedi powers to fly over the beer and get it into my glass, yeah.
Okay, alright.
I've got a Thornbridge Cocoa Wonderland Chocolate Porter.
Ooh.
Which
I'm not a porter fan.
Oh, I love a porter. I love a Russian Imperial Porter, that's what I like. Anyway,
That's about your private life.
So we're off to South Korea for 3 foreign films, of which I don't think any of us have seen 2 of these, have they? So
I've not seen any of these.
Have you seen any of them, Alex?
I've only seen The Host.
Yeah, me too. So let's start with that. The Host, which is probably definitely the best known of these films. Probably the first South Korean science fiction film to get any sort of traction over here, I'd imagine. It's definitely the first one I ever heard of.
I think it broke all records in Korean. In a box office.
Yeah.
So it by the same director as Snowpiercer, Bong Joon-ho.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monster movie. I can't. What city is it set in?
Seoul.
South Korean city. Yeah.
Yeah.
An aquatic monster steals some guy's daughter, and he has to find him, stroke her, stroke it.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm looking at the poster. There's no hint of it being a monster movie on the poster, which is interesting.
I think. Are you looking at the Korean poster?
Yeah.
Because I think the poster over here was the pod of it, hanging down from the bridge.
Right. Okay.
It was more obvious.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, but they sell things differently there.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
shall we watch the trailer?
Let's.
Ooh, let's.
Formaldehyde. Dirty formaldehyde. Pour him into the sink.
I mean, that trailer is kind of all over the place when the film is a bit...
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it starts off quite goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, isn't it? It's the son and daughter in Snowpiercer, or the son and daughter in this as well.
Yeah. It's a strange film, but I really enjoyed it. I've not seen it in a few years, but I really enjoyed that one.
Me too. I loved it when it came out, and have to see what it survived all this time.
Yeah. I remember when I saw it in the cinema, it broke halfway through. I don't know what happened to the reel. I think it came off, something like that. And when it came back, the subtitles weren't on it, and so there was a bit of the film where I just had no idea what was going on, and it was a while till somebody actually bothered to fix it. But never mind. Cool. Right. So our second film of the day.
I forgot I was going to do the tiebreak of the ice, wasn't I?
Oh yes. Let's have that now then. Yes. So about 8 weeks ago, we had a quiz about ice. And we drew 2-2, Alex and I. So Chris has a tiebreaker to settle this once and for all.
Okay. So to the nearest number, the Eskimo language has words for snow. So I want, and it's been agreed by anthropologists and linguists, because there's been a lot of numbers bandied around. So I need the nearest number.
Who's going first?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Is it 50?
And Alex?
I'd say, I think a lot lower than that. 22.
Okay, so there's argument basically between the field of 40 to 50.
It was 50, wasn't it?
So,
Yeah,
but they can't be that exact with it.
yeah.
But so
You got it. You
Sam would have
won.
been closest anyway. So
It's the title of a Kate Bush record. That's why I know that.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, I won! Hooray! Hooray me!
Yeah. Great.
Ice King.
Ice King.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get back to Korea.
Continue.
So our second film of the day, we're going from weird to weirder with Collective Invention, which is called I can't even say it, Dolyeonbyoni in South Korean, which translates as mutant. So a better title over here. Directed by Kwon Oh-kwang. That's a great name. So this film is about a man, Park Gu, who he's mutated into a half a fish. His top half is a fish. Well, it's not even his top half. He's got human hands, but he becomes a fish man from an experimental drug, and then becomes a bit of a celebrity and a star because of his fishman status. But a conspiracy from a pharmaceutical company is trying to expel him from the entire world.
That wasn't the way I thought you'd finish that sentence.
Yeah, so when me and Alex were finding these films, this had to go in because it's a man with a fish face, and
The poster for this is pretty
the
amazing.
poster is incredible. Yeah, so let's watch the trailer.
누군가에겐 친구였고 누군가에겐 연예인이었으며 또 다른 누군가에겐 악마였던 남자. 돌연변이었다.
충격적인 소식이 아닐 수 없습니다.
Well, I can't wait to
That
see
looks
that.
amazing. Yeah.
That like Curb Your Enthusiasm music must be a South Korean thing, wasn't it? Because that had it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just the way they try and sell this wackiness.
But it
to
gives it a very
the
like
West.
European continental
It does,
feel
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
Like the
The slapstick and stuff. Yeah, very French. I can't wait to see that. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad.
It's just odd how that fish face doesn't emote in any way whatsoever, or
Yeah.
doesn't seem to move, does it? It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right, we've got one more South Korean film, and Alex has got a synopsis for this. This is Doomsday Book. Is that right?
Yeah, yep. Doomsday Book is a 2012 South Korean science fiction anthology directed by Kim Ji-woon, who made adventure fantasy The Good, the Bad and the Weird and the thriller I Saw the Devil, and Yim Pil-sung, who directed Hansel and Gretel inspired by the fairy tale. Made up of 3 stories titled A Brave New World, The Heavenly Creature and Happy Birthday, it encompasses political satire, musing on artificial intelligence, visions of human self-destruction and the difficulties of existence in a high-tech world, among other things.
Bloody hell.
So there you go. Yeah, but The Good and the Bad and the Weird is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I Saw the Devil is just horrible, but good. But you just have to be okay. That's a very Korean thing as well. That kind of like really brutal kind of crime thrillers.
Yeah.
Normally about people who've done stuff to kids or done something really horrible and then someone obsessively following them. That seems to be a very like... There's a lot of them, I think. But yeah, Good, the Bad and the Weird's very good. If anyone hasn't seen that, I would recommend that.
Do you know the Korean title for this?
No.
Report on the Destruction of Mankind, which is a fantastic title.
Yeah, that's a better title, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a bit wordy, I suppose, isn't it?
I guess.
Right, let's watch the trailer for this one.
시간만 지나면 지구가 멸망할 수도 있다는 거 아닐까요?
바이러스 보균자들처럼 변해 난동을 피우는 등 이상한 사건이 발생했습니다.
깨달음이란 스님들도 얻기 힘든 것 아닙니까? 그런데 로봇이 깨달음을 얻다니요.
인명은 판단 로봇이 아닙니다.
Like they nicked the robot from iRobot.
Yeah.
It does look like that robot, doesn't it?
And a bit like 28 Days Later with the people getting violent.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an entertaining week.
Yeah.
Some weird films there. But yeah, try and get a hold of them at home or watch the trailers we just put in there. The Host is pretty everywhere, isn't it? I don't know about the other two. But, right, that's the films. Turn off now if you don't want Star Wars spoilers. This is your warning, your one and only warning. Because stuff will be spoiled starting now. For instance, Snoke dies and Luke dies and Yoda comes back and...
They're the big ones.
Yeah. And it's utter shite. But let's first of all hear from Alex, who claims to like it.
Okay, I liked it. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm definitely not saying it's better than the proper films at all. Number one, I would say it's better than Force Awakens.
Wrong.
Okay, well, I would say it's better than Force Awakens, because Force Awakens, to me, played a very safe game of, oh, hey, do you like Star Wars? Right, well, here's some things that you'll probably recognise from Star Wars that we'll kind of do in a kind of cover version of, oh, look, Trash Compactor, kind of. Oh, look, you know, and I liked that, but equally it wasn't its own thing. And going into Last Jedi, I was very worried that they would just do, oh, do you like Empire? Oh, well, it's kind of going to be dark, and it's kind of going to be basically a rehash of that. And I like the fact that Last Jedi wasn't a rehash of anything, it was its own thing. So that's that.
Well, it was half its own thing, wasn't it?
They should have done a rehash of Empire, because Empire is good.
Yeah. I mean, but also, like, it did have, like, a hermit on a distant planet. It did have Yoda talking shit.
It had themes that came up, but it wasn't... There were bits in Force Awakens that were kind of pretty much copies, weren't they?
Yeah. Can I just
alternate takes?
Can I rebuttal?
Yeah, you can rebut at any time. Let's
that
rebut.
point. So let's have that point first of all. So, and Chris as well, because I know you didn't like Force Awakens. I did like Force Awakens. I don't think it's better than the original trilogy, but for me, it felt like Star Wars. Like, it got the vibe of Star Wars right. And yes, it was just because it's ripping off New Hope a lot, but it felt like a Star Wars film. This, to me, I've come back to it loads of times, no doubt, probably because it really annoyed me, but the way it just feels like a Marvel film in the fact that there can't be any gravitas, every big line has to be followed by a stupid joke, and that is not Star Wars. And that's not like a thing about being like a weird purist who's like, oh, the Jedi's are this and that. That is just a thing tonally about the films that doesn't work, especially with characters
I don't think there was every line wasn't... I mean, the end, there isn't a joke at the end. That thing with Luke at the end, there is no joke after that.
No, but every other time on the screen it is. Everything he does on the island with Rey has a little joke at the end of it. All the stuff with Poe has little jokes in it. Even some stuff with bloody... What's his name? The miserable Adam Driver has little funny, silly jokes. And it just isn't...
It's just goofy.
Yeah, goofy.
Yeah.
But goofy...
The story does not move. Nothing happens in the story.
Well, hang on, no, wait for the...
Well, okay, well, let's get to this then.
No, hang on, wait a minute.
Completely bogged down with the Princess Leia dying thing.
Before we do, though, Chris, you didn't like Force Awakens, did you?
I didn't like Force Awakens because it was so similar to A New Hope in story and themes, and I just felt like I didn't gain anything into the universe, like, after having watched it.
Yeah.
And I know people knock the prequel trilogies, but you come away from them and he's added so much. You come away from it with like pod racers and you know, lots of different things.
But the problem with that is, though, like Last Jedi adds new stuff, but it's all bollocks.
Yeah, also you've named one thing out of 3-hour films. That's 9 hours.
Double-ended lightsaber.
Well, you game like we never saw the Jedi Temple before, and we never saw the structure of how the Jedi's were. You never saw
the younglings.
Introduce a lot of extra planets and things like that. Anyway, we're not talking about the prequel trilogies. This is utter shit. Like, I've never seen anything, so I was totally up for this.
And me,
I thought,
me too.
Oh, new director, and they've even given him loads of films, by the way. Like, he's rewritten the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
The story didn't make sense. At least...
What didn't make sense in the story?
Everything.
Bit by bit. What though?
It's
What
Star
didn't make
Wars.
sense?
Star
Right.
Wars. Everything in the original, like The Empire Strikes Back, actually had some meaning as far as, for instance, like the battles actually made sense. You knew why they did things. They didn't explain it to you why they did things.
But what didn't make sense in this? Who didn't you?
in
What
the
bit
fact
didn't you understand?
that they were being chased by Star Destroyers all the way through the film. They were being, and that was
Just out of
and they were
reach.
right at the edge of where the blasters could go or whatever. It's fucking mental.
No, but that's,
They were
you've-
being
you've
chased
explained
by
it, though.
3 Star
But you-
Destroyers.
Yeah, but you just said it didn't make sense. You just explained.
okay, I'll tell you bits of
concept.
No, because
made
that doesn't
sense.
make sense in the actual lore of Star Wars.
I don't know. What do you mean? Why?
Of how you. It's like they just go from one thing to the next. It's like, oh, we're being chased. Oh, we're just within range, so we'll do something else. It's like they're scrabbling around for ideas, and it doesn't make sense.
I'll tell you bits.
It's rubbish.
I'll tell you something that doesn't make sense. Right, the entirety of I've forgotten his name now. Finn's story.
Oh,
and Rose, who is like Jar Jar Binks level of awful. Rose is
I didn't mind
fucking
her.
terrible, and her last scene, I nearly threw up. But anyway, their whole arc is completely redundant because
Why?
Because if Laura Dern had just said, "Well, the plan is we're going to keep going like this until we get close enough to fly down to that planet, and then we're all going to escape."
Right.
Yeah.
Right, she couldn't tell him that for reasons I don't really understand, other than she had to pretend she was like some like badass for reasons again.
'Cause that was supposed to be Princess Leia's plan.
But why not just tell
Carrie
him?
Fisher died.
So then Poe Dameron runs off and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't cope with this." Also, Oscar Isaac, calm down. Don't be so angry all the time. "Oh no, we've got to think different." So they go and do all this different shit. The plan doesn't even work, and then it's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter because this wasn't the plan anyway."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can I respond to that?
Go on then.
I will admit that the casino, that whole casino bit, I admit, I didn't really like that. I went to the toilet during that the big chase out with the stupid horses. I agree that doesn't work. A lot of that should be cut out.
That was some episode 2 shit. That was
some episode 2 shit right there, and it was silly. It felt. I agree with all that. It didn't really work for me. It was a silly kind of MacGuffin that didn't go anywhere. The only thing I would say that the only reason I can see they've inserted it is because you have to have the idea that the idea to me was that the galaxy has just given up. They've given up hope. There's only that tiny load of rebels. No one else gives a shit. They're all just like basically ready to bow down and take on the evil empire as their masters or whatever. So you had to have a place where someone went and did something so that the people, the poor, sad children of that place could go, "Oh, look, this has inspired us." That's the only kind of excuse I could see for that whole scene.
yeah,
and also to set up a love triangle between Finn and Rose and Rey, which I'm fine with.
You know the basic premise of this like New Order or whatever it is they are?
Yeah.
What was the point of killing the Emperor in Return of the Jedi if we're just doing the same shit since then?
Well, we're not, are we? I mean, the new Emperor's dead, isn't he?
The Emperor, you know, in Return of the Jedi of the Empire.
Oh, sorry, old Emperor. Right, yes.
Why? Yeah. Why are we still
Why is it all
messing
carried on?
around with stormtroopers and fucking the Empire?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there was no point in killing him because it's just the same. Like, there's been no progression in story.
Well, I mean, for me, that is the crux of why I don't like it, right? I mean, there's 2 crux of it. One is the quips, and like the fact it opens with that
I knew it'd be the humour. I was about to say
stupid scene with Poe doing that thing, going, "Oh, I'm on hold for Admiral Hooks."
Oh man,
that's not fucking Star Wars. That's not. It's not.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine if that was Vader on the bridge in Empire Strikes Back. You know, when he's killing all the generals and stuff like that. That was fucking proper. That was proper
that
stuff.
Shit would barely even fly in the prequels. That would not have happened. Like that'd be the first episode 1 when they were waiting.
The prequels was Star Wars because that was George Lucas, whether you like it or not.
Anyway,
fucking do that shit.
That's my one big problem. My other big problem is the fact they kill Snoke. Right now, I get the idea that like, right, we're going to get rid of Snoke and we're going to have something different now. We're going to say like, oh, the power comes from the fact that he's Darth Vader's son and he's the big bad, and that Snoke couldn't control him. But that doesn't work when the first film sets Snoke up as something mysterious, right? And then they just blow it all. They blow it all off for nothing. They've got for the third film now. They've got nothing other than what's his name? Still conflicted, but really evil. He's still like not that evil, is he? He's still done nothing really other than kill his boss. You know, they've ruined any sort of this need to make everything close in on itself, but not do the thing where they go, Rey's his sister, because everyone guessed that, or Rey's Luke Skywalker's daughter, everyone guessed that. They go, what else can we do? She's no one, and now he's a big bad guy, but Snoke's not in it. Forget Snoke. Just forget Snoke. Don't worry about that. Snoke, who's got some sort of mind-reading powers, can see the future, and can throw lightning. You know, who is this character? Why has he now just been chopped in half by...
They've completely changed what Jedi is and what it means.
Well, thank God. Okay, can I respond to the first two first, though? Yeah. Right, so the humour, number one. I get that. I get that people hated that. And I think that is the main problem. I think the humour element is what is upsetting a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think it is just, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I completely, it doesn't feel like Star Wars I know.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say to you, if you like the humour, you can still understand that is not Star Wars, is it?
No, I accept that. I'll take that on board. It's not the Star Wars I know. And even Chris is even right, it's not the Star Wars of the prequels either. It's not George Lucas's Star Wars. But these Star Wars films...
Yeah, sorry, one more thing though, Alex. Have you ever seen the cartoon, Clone Wars?
I haven't seen the newer one. I've only seen the weird... the Gendy, the Samurai Jack guys ones.
Because I just wonder if that's where this all comes from. Because there's a whole generation of kids who...
but that's aimed at kids.
But so is Star Wars, though. And that
this has become that.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, okay.
That's my point.
Right.
This film is aimed at children. Star Wars was always aimed at children.
Yes, yeah.
It's great that adults enjoy it, but this film is aimed at kids.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The fact is, if they enjoy that humour, they enjoy that humour, and it's for them. You know, all the little bird things flying around, smacking into windows and stuff like that. You know, that kind of slapstick, all that stuff. That is for them. And if they like it, they're the next generation. That's who this film is for. That's fine. And what I liked about the film was, which links into the whole Snoke thing and the Rey thing, is, to me, this film laid out a statement. It laid out a statement within its story, but also a statement within Star Wars. It said, Adam Driver kept saying, give up the old. Stop going on about the old. Stop talking about the old. Burn it down. Destroy it. Just get rid of the old. That's not important anymore. And what this film did is it fucked you up, because it destroyed the two things you thought were going to be important weren't important anymore. Snoke got cut in half, and Rey isn't anyone. And I liked that. I thought that was brave. I thought that was interesting. And to me, it was saying, you know what, fuck you. You thought you knew what was going to happen? Well, fuck you. It's not what's going to happen. You've got an entire film now where I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, all I'm saying is there better be a fucking clever... There better be a fucking clever...
Cool.
But also, Alex,
a clever answer to that, because I don't think they've got a clever answer to it.
No,
I'm happy to not know.
But Alex, I would be more... I accept those points, and I'd be more willing to accept them if this was Force Awakens. If this is the first one in the trilogy, and they hadn't already made one film where they were relying on the old stuff.
They had to win us back, though. No, but they had to win you back first before they threw it all away. That's what I think is so clever. They had to get you on side to then say, you know what, actually, fuck you, not really. This isn't what you thought it was. I personally think they know what they're doing. Yes, you're right. If the next film comes out, I will obviously be eating my words. If the next film comes out and they backtrack on everything, and it's just, and they don't deliver, then Chris is right. They need to be really fucking clever on the next one.
But even if you accept that and think, okay, yeah, it is right, they have changed it. The old guard's gone. The new characters are like wall to wall, just uncharismatic and boring. The only Adam Driver in some scenes is kind of interesting, but Rey can't act. She's terrible. She isn't the best her character is dull. Finn, like I like the lad who plays him, but his character is just absolute nonsense. Rose, I mean, I could just, as I say, I'd rather have fucking Jar Jar Binks in there.
Ooh.
The only new character is any good. Laura Dern was the only new good character, and they fucking killed her. So,
but she was only there to say Carrie Fisher's lines, right?
No, I know that, but what they should have done is they should have killed Carrie Fisher and kept her dead, and they should have said, okay, Laura Dern, because you've got the excuse, she's died in real life.
Yeah, so, that was troubled me as well. I didn't like. In a
what
weird
the fuck
way,
did they do with Leia now? She's back from the dead, and but actually dead.
Sad because in the trailer they show it as if he's about to kill Leia, right?
Yeah.
And you go into it going, oh, Leia's going to go in this one because of X, Y, Z. And I hate that the most cleverest thing about this movie is that throw off that they did with the trailer.
Yeah, but that was obvious, though, wasn't it? They're not going to show in the trailer that he's. I don't know. I saw that one coming.
There's no like foundation to any of the story in this. It's kind of it. I said to you, it's like kids when they play and they just make it up as they go along.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting. I'm not seeing a broader thing.
I agree with that, especially that chase thing where it's like, we've followed you into hyperspace. Oh, you haven't. We're going faster than you, so you can't catch us. Yeah. I completely get what you mean with that. I mean, that whole. Because that's Empire Strikes Back, isn't it?
And then we'll do this, and then he gets this, and then we'll go and do it.
Yeah, that's borrowed from Empire in the sense that Empire is so good because you've got all the Luke shit going on, but the other story is just Han and Leia on the fucking run, isn't it, for the whole film?
Yes.
And I can see how they've tried to think, okay, let's expand that to go like, this is the last of the Republic, the only few, and they're on the run. But then trying to fit that in with the Luke story and Finn doing something, it kind of left them with, okay, we're just going to drive through space a bit. And it's just such a, regardless of whether it works or not in terms of the lore, it's just boring, isn't it? The sense that...
It is. It's got no speed to it.
There's nothing going on. Yeah, they're just like slowly going through space, firing bullets at the back of them for ages. It's just rubbish. Alex?
Yeah, I wasn't... I mean, I was... Yeah, no, I'm not saying... I didn't think that was exciting, but that there was enough around it that was exciting to me that I think some of the stuff they did, the different stuff, was like having Rey and... Kylo Ren linked in that way, in not spatially but psychically. I liked that. I think that's a different thing I've never seen before. And also, Chris, I would super argue with you in this whole thing you're saying about how, they've ruined Jedis now. Like, thank fuck they've gone back on all the midichlorians. Like, thank fuck they've rewritten that. Because it was the stupidest, dumbest thing.
They haven't even gone back on it, though. No, they haven't gone back on it.
because he just said...
What they've done...
He just said, it's a bit like Buddhism, everything's linked, the force is in the middle, there's good and bad, and the force is in the middle. Don't talk about it anymore, we know that's stupid, and we don't want to talk about it, because George Lucas fucked that up. Thank God they did that, because that was the biggest... We even said it in the one when we talked about Phantom Menace, that was the stupidest thing that George Lucas did, was try to explain it like, it's this thing in your bloodstream, and you've got... Imagine they'd done all that in this. Thank God they've rewritten that. I don't
like how there's just very, earthly things in this film, the casino.
Slot machines.
Like, when we go back to Luke, and he's there, sat like a fucking Buddha on a rock...
Yeah, the casino. I'm not
that is not Jedi. Yeah. Jedis don't sit like a fucking Buddha and make themselves into holograms.
Yeah, Alex, I do agree with you that I do like that they have sort of not reset the Force, but gone back to I like the idea that a power has to rise to match Adam Driver's power. I wish I remember what's his fucking name. I can't remember his name.
Kylo Ren.
Thank you. I like that idea.
Kenobi.
But. They just do nothing with it. It's just so... There's just nothing there. They're such, nothing characters. To me anyway. I just don't think there's anything... The only character who I did find interesting was Snoke. As weird as that is. And I think really, I think they do a good job with him in this. I think Snoke's performance was quite good. I think I quite enjoyed, because it's in his CGI.
Yeah. I like his guards. They're quite
they were really cool, yeah.
But why do they continue fighting, right?
Yeah, no, when you said that in the text, I was a bit like, it's a super good fight scene, but yeah, you're a bit like, be like, oh cool, we get the day off. You'd be like, you just walk out, really, wouldn't you?
But also, there's an unanswered question that, and I know you don't need to answer it necessarily, but it'd be nice, when Chris is saying what happens after the Emperor, well obviously at some point in that 30 years, Snoke turns up, doesn't he? But to get to that position where you've basically got a master and an apprentice in charge of the whole Empire again...
But where's the Empire? That's the thing. Where have they got these resources from? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, as part of that process, even if the Empire kept going, right, there's no Jedi, there's no Sith left at the end of Return of Jedi, is there? So Snoke has to get to that point of being in charge, doesn't he? So
yeah, I thought they said in Force Awakens that they were just extremists. They were like a bunch of a planet of extremists who believed in. The Empire, that old way, that old. I think that's what they said. Right, but yeah, I agree as well. There's been a bit of a leap from them suddenly being.
But how does he get the ships and the stormtroopers and stuff like that? Because that was explained. Obviously, people don't like the politics of the original trilogy, but that explained how a religious bad guy can become the leader, can pervert an empire in a sense. It was a republic and it became an empire.
Yeah,
taxes.
How that still exists, the republic, by the sounds of it.
Well, no, because they do get into that in a bit, don't they? About how when they're on the casino planet, they're like, oh, all the rich people are the people who are, making weapons for the empire. Oh no, but then he goes to rebels as well, doesn't he? Like they're basically making. The thing is, I think with that, because the original 3 films they're basically fairy tales, aren't they?
Yes.
And the world isn't expanded. That I think you're going to run into trouble no matter what you do, aren't you? And it's
Benicio del Toro was terrible.
Yeah, he was completely wasted.
He was literally just the guy from Usual Suspects, wasn't he? He even had the same stutter. That was really weird casting.
The animals in it was like a fucking zoo, but actually they weren't that creative animals. We had a fox, which was just silver. We had a fucking penguin, which was just a penguin, but not... No, a puffin, but not a puffin.
Cat penguin.
Bloody Chewbacca with a plastic roasted one of them, with the plastic feet sticking out the bottom, ridiculous.
The foxes. Do you know what the foxes were called?
No.
Crystal fox.
The crystal critters. Is that the best you can come up with? Oh, the crystal critters must know a way out. The what? I'm sorry, the crystal critters.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was all good. Like I said,
what with it? Them fucking nun things.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, the maids. That was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compare that to Dagobah.
Yeah, this is a line from my thing that I might put up. This is about Luke. Surrounded by a terrible collection of alien maids doing his laundry, Luke has become a Yoda in bigger clothes, only a bit grumpier because he went to kill Kylo Ren, only maybe he didn't. Or maybe he did for a minute or two, because you need to make you wonder if he's gone bad in the trailer, but obviously he's not gone bad in the trailer. That is Luke, basically, isn't it?
It is.
It's just shit. They don't sell that at all. They don't sell that idea of he's so disappointed the fact he almost killed whatever, even though he knows he didn't.
I was fine with all the Luke stuff, and I thought I loved the ending. I thought it was that fight scene at the end. I thought it was really good. The fact that he wasn't there was really good. The fact that he disappeared, Did you like the Oliver Twist proper ending, the kid forced taking the broom off the wall?
Oh god,
man!
I mean, again, that had to happen. Again, I don't like that.
He's
but
got
I get why it was
midichlorians.
there.
That kid.
He probably has got midichlorians. Yeah. No, I didn't love that, but I could see why it was there. So yeah.
He had a ring. He had a ring with the rebel sign.
Oh god,
I hate these very earthly props. Fucking dice in the Millennium Falcon.
But do you know why those dice are even in?
I don't
Star
give a
Wars?
shit.
Yeah, it's Han Solo's got them when he from the game where he got the Millennium Falcon off
it's a
Lando.
reference to American Graffiti.
Yeah,
it's a reference to his character in American Graffiti.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's George Lucas's fault. So
yeah, but
the
in-world
was set
thing
in the 50s, and they didn't have dice in the original Star Wars.
Yeah, it's stupid. There was a reason you don't see him after the first film, isn't it? Because they thought it's fucking stupid. Also, why do they fade out?
Because they're not there. Because Luke's not there. Why would they be there physically?
So he brought
They've made a plot device out of dice.
His Jedi Force ghost dice over there.
Well, it just was like, look, that was the tip-off that he wasn't there. The fact they disappeared was the tip-off.
I knew it was bullshit when
his
lightsaber was the wrong colour when he was there.
Hang on, sorry, the tip-off for who? The audience or the characters?
Well, I guess the audience.
Didn't tip
Because
me
why
off.
would they disappear? Because why would they disappear?
But they disappeared after... No, we saw him disappear first, after the dice. The dice are after that.
Okay, well, while he still can project, then they're there, aren't they?
Because
when
he's dead. He's dead and gone.
No, they're
and then
still
these
there
dice are
because
still sticking around.
Because Kylo Ren picks him up, doesn't he?
No, they
dice have
disappeared in her hand.
No, I thought it was Kylo Ren picked him up.
No, she gives them to Leia and they disappear in her hand.
Oh, right. Anyway,
the dice are not that important.
Well, that's the thing. The dice aren't that important, but they've made a whole thing about the dice.
We're arguing over some dice.
If we come out of a film like this and we're talking about dice, there's a major issue, isn't there?
I guess there is. Did you notice as well that it ripped off Star Crash? Because that's technically what Laura Dern did. She Star Crashed
that's true.
Didn't she? She Star Crashed it. That's I think they should pay Star Crash some money.
That's the best bit of the film, that is that.
Oh, that shot was
slices the thing in half, yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, for them That was your 8 seconds of silence, then I take it.
Oh yeah, and I thought it was a bit misleading, that whole.
It was, wasn't it?
Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit misleading. That. Yeah, we tricked people with that. Sorry, people listening to the podcast and thinking there'd be loads of. I thought it was gonna be like Dunkirk. I thought there'd be loads of people being disorientated by war.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
In the interest of balance, I'll say some positives.
Good.
The red salt was really cool.
Yep.
And I like that the Lando's co-pilot out of Return Jedi is still there. I love that guy.
Yeah.
That's the end.
he's
That's
there.
it. That's it.
Okay. But for Chris, there was nothing.
The Star Destroyer being chopped in half
that as well. Yeah.
was very good.
Yeah.
But why the fuck didn't she do that? I mean, the whole tactics of battle are crap in this film.
Yeah. No,
Right?
no one really had the right military.
Yeah, she waits for like nearly all of them to get wiped out. She's already on a suicide mission. She's already said she's on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh shit, maybe I should drive this thing rather than just stood here looking at everyone
Oh,
dying."
it's mad.
No,
It's
that is
totally mad.
No, that's fine. I will concede that was stupid. Yeah, they should have done that a lot earlier.
The whole Luke thing and Yoda,
I liked
utter
that.
rubbish. I do like it. They used a puppet Yoda.
Oh, he looked awful.
They shot it from an angle which you wouldn't have done back in the day.
Showing his weird chin.
Yeah. And he did that. I mean, this is basic stuff of how to shoot a Muppet.
Yeah. Should have got Renfro in there.
Man, I mean, God, it's gone to the dogs.
Well, anyway,
I don't care about Star Wars anymore.
Well, no,
that was really troubling to me.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. To go back to what you were saying, Alex, about how it's for the kids. In the car on the way home, I said, I didn't like Rogue One anyway. I thought that was rubbish, but that was just for reasons.
I love Rogue One. Rogue One is what I want.
No, Rogue One to me is too far the other way in like filling in the gaps where I don't want them filled in. Don't need them filled in. It's too far the other way. But this film, at least with Rogue One, I got what it was and I made sense it was Star Wars. It just wasn't very good Star Wars. But, oh my God.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Someone just got force killed.
Sneeze.
Oh.
Force sneeze.
Force sneeze. Yeah, but back to your point about it being for kids. Like, this did feel to me, in a way Force Awakens didn't, like, this is not, Star Wars is no longer for me. Like, this is not my thing anymore.
No,
it's really
sad.
It really is sad. Like, I mean...
But you're not alone. This is literally split audiences, hasn't it? 50-50. Like, there's many people who hate it. I think the reviewers, there's too many positive reviews. I don't know why all the reviews, all the papers and all that, I don't know why they're so positive. Like saying it's
very
it's bullshit. Yeah, no, that's silly. That was silly anyway.
Yeah.
But I can see it's a divisive film and it is split opinion, and that's, at least it's not boring. At least it's not Day After Tomorrow boring.
It is boring.
It was really boring.
Okay, well, of course, this whole podcast, we've got 40 minutes out of this.
That's true.
We've upped our time. We normally do 20 minutes on our preview show, so it's it's like a whole nother show.
We've not even ranked it yet.
Yeah.
So, space doesn't kill you anymore if you're a Jedi.
She's very high Jedi.
She's Superman. Well, she's not actually doing anything, does she, though? What are her force powers? She can hear Luke in her head.
Yeah.
She force pulls herself
and
back
doesn't
into
die.
the ship.
Yeah, and force pulls it. Yeah, exactly. And doesn't die.
Yeah.
Just gets a bit icy.
And doesn't freeze to death.
Yeah.
No, just a bit icy.
That CGI was crap, wasn't it, when she was out in the ice? It was terrible.
Yeah, no, that didn't look good.
The CGI of Snoke looked really bad. Like when his hands went up to touch Rey's face, it looked really bad.
I thought his facial expressions were quite good, weren't they? But everything else about him, the way he looked as a character in the space, I thought it looked really Episode 1, sort of like green screeny. A lot of that set did on the on the Star Destroyer.
No, I didn't think he looked very good, and I thought he looked terrible in Force Awakens. I thought he looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's also, that's another thing, isn't it? Everything looks like bloody Harry Potter. That character always looks the same. It's always like a twisted old shriveled white man, isn't it?
No nose.
Yeah, they can't do anything different with that, and I don't know why.
I know why. It's because they know that they can get that in a PG film, don't they?
Yeah.
They know that they can go to that level of grotesque.
Because it's just
and get away with it.
Yeah. Well, they should take it further. No, I wasn't sure about Snow.
Oh, actually, one more positive. I like the bit when Kylo Ren came with his hat on and he went, "Take that stupid thing off." That was that was really good, wasn't it? That was really good. I like that. They're like, because that's obviously what I was thinking. Like, get that fucking thing off your head. And then he just says to him,
But do you not feel like it's like a corporation making it in the sense of, yeah, we did the consumer research with the first one and the hat's not really playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to write it in the script and the second one that it's a stupid idea and then we'll just make out like it's a stupid idea.
I think that's why. I think you're right. I think that's why Snoke dies. Without a doubt, that's why you got to do Snoke.
Well, I've only seen a small thing, but the director has just said he doesn't, like, he's fine that people are upset and stuff, but he was doing his own thing and he never set out to listen to what people were going to say or do what people wanted. So, I don't know. I get that.
But also not listen to what J.J. Abrams did. And I think even if you didn't like that film...
A positive for me is they got rid of that fucking woman in that chrome outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, Phasma. That was a bit silly.
That was really
completely pointless.
She was bad.
She obviously had a 2-film contract, didn't she? Because they had to bring her back for something. But
it was very odd because they teased her in Force Awakens, and then in this she died in 3 seconds.
The character didn't make any sense in the first. Like there was no gravitas to the character in the first one.
But again, that just feels like they just thought, well, it's not working.
That could have just been like in the first one, what she was doing. That should have just been if it was done in the olden days. That would have been like just a snivelly officer, like a
yeah.
Wasn't she kind of Boba Fett,
like
but the new
General
Boba
Veers?
Fett?
Well, a more interesting thing is because I mean, like Hux, his character was ruined by the fact that he just became a stooge, didn't he? Who obviously going to get killed by Kylo Ren in the third film. Excuse me. The more interesting thing to do with it, and where I thought it'd go with Phasma, was that he would basically control the military after the failure of the last one, and Kylo Ren would be kind of outcast from the military and be his own thing. That's how I thought they'd play it, that Snoke and Kylo would have to not take a back seat, but take a different seat, and then you'd have Hux and Phasma as the military thing.
Well, yeah, like we said about New Hope, one interesting line of Star Wars that never went down was that actually the Jedi are a bit stupid, and the military side of it sees them as stupid and says, well, it's just dumb. We've got loads of ships and robots and stuff. We can just kill these people. We don't need your stupid force powers. And that could have been an interesting line to go down, and that would have taken Kylo Ren in another direction.
The minute, the half an hour we discussed it here, it feels like we put more thought into it than fucking Rian Johnson did in the whole film.
Well, this is it. I don't feel like there's larger plans at play.
No, normally, no. Yeah, just make them go along.
Well, I'm excited by that, but you two are angry by it, and that's the difference. And a child wouldn't care, so if that's their audience, they don't give a shit.
True.
Like a child's not going to think about the next one. They're too excited about the new Han Solo film.
BB-8 is getting a bit binksy for me.
Who is?
Oh, I like BB-8.
BB-8's getting a bit Jar Jar.
I hate BB-8. All that nonsense driving the ATST around.
Oh man, we were well into Binks territory with that.
Yeah.
He's jumped.
That was it. That was Binks like jumping, like prancing around in the battle in the first film. That was basically that.
No.
Right, I think we've got to leave it. I think we could go on all day. Just one final thing: if you had to rank this film right now, because bear in mind, I've been ranking it for years.
Oh God.
Where would you put it?
Let me look at my list.
It would be the worst Star Wars film.
Yeah. No
way. Where is...
For me, definitely, because even Episode 1, which people fucking hate, I think, I remember watching it and actually feeling, this feels Star Wars still. I've got this, I see the Jedi, I see how they talk to each other, and there's nothing earthly really going on other than some things which we've talked about.
Yeah, I think,
it's respectful to the universe.
Yeah,
They're not just trying to sell fucking toys.
Last Jedi is Attack of the Clones level for me, in the sense that they blow it out in a way that I don't like. Because, remember that Dex's Diner thing, whatever, and all that shit, he's a detective in Attack of the Clones. That's a bit like the Casino World, isn't it? Yeah. I'd say it'd probably be like low 30s for me, sort of around Real Steel, Star Crash into Space, that kind of area.
See, it would only be really high 30s for me. It's not going to be...
60s
it wasn't
for me.
Like,
60.
It's never going to be 60s.
60s? Wow.
It'd be mid-50s at least.
Anyway, what was our thing? You had to wait 2 years to do anything, wasn't it? Was that what we said?
5 at first, but maybe we can...
Well, we're doing Arrival, aren't we? So we have to bring it down a bit.
That's okay.
Anyway. Right, well, that was your spoiler-filled...
Star Wars rant.
Well, a half rant, yeah.
My only hope now is for Han Solo film, and I just know that's going to be garbage.
Yeah.
So.
It is. It's going to be really bad.
That's going to be
really
so bad, yeah. I'm actually quite looking forward to see that. It's going to be a train wreck, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And also it's got, what's his name in it? Hasn't it? The guy at Community.
Has it?
He's playing Lando. What's his name? The musician.
Donald, not Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover.
Yeah, it's Donald Glover. Yeah, Donald Glover. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's Lando.
No, that will be made by a committee, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for sticking with us if you did. We're back to our regular scheduled podcast next week. 50 minutes has gone too. Fucking hell. Right.
Wow. May the force be with us all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as Carrie Fisher would say,
Yeah.
or well, she's dead, she wouldn't say that even, would she now?
And then Carrie Fisher's daughter would pick up the rest of the script.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher, who...
There's no way she would be in that movie if her mum hadn't put a word in. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, she was awful.
That girl.
Yeah.
I just wish Laura Dern hadn't died. She was by far the best thing about that film.
Maybe she'll come back. No, she won't come back.
She
Star
won't.
Crash!
She's in the Jurassic Park, isn't she now?
Oh, is she?
She's in the new Jurassic World, yeah.
Talking of awful sequels to classic films. Anyway, that's another podcast as well. Let's go. So that's the end.
Okay.
sciencefictionratingsystem.com. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Well, no, but yeah.
Miles after that, Chris.
happy 8th of January.
Happy Easter.
We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.